dreamed of this day.
Is what I aspired to be involved in since I was a child.
This opportunity.
This chance.
This is the be-all, end-all.
This is what we work for. This is why we do what we do.
You can immortalize yourself.
It's where you build a legacy.
This is where it all comes together.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
It's not just a night.
WrestleMania is bigger than life.
Welcome to the greatest sports entertainment extravaganza! Over 54,000 fans! 93,000! And a worldwide television audience!
There's nothing that compares when you step through that curtain.
And to walk out on that stage and just see all those people and think, wow.
As a performer, you live for that. We work our entire careers to get to WrestleMania.
That's the stage that I want to be on. I'm going to be in that ring someday.
I knew one day would be my time.
It's all about the desire, the heart, your soul!
It's all worth it for that one night, for that one chance at WrestleMania.
What's up, wrestling fans? This is one of your proud peers, Cage from Gaming Ahead, and I am excited to bring you the review for Smackdown vs. Raw 2010. I've been a big fan of wrestling games ever since I was a kid. Ever since Pro Wrestling on the NES, I've been getting my hands on any wrestling game I could find, and honestly, they've been disappointing throughout the years. I think the last great game I played was No Mercy, and I think a lot of you guys will agree with that. But with Smackdown vs. Raw 2010, what you have is a few new features that really escalate the series and probably the genre of wrestling video games. The number one feature in this game, hands down, no doubt about it, is the storyline editor. Finally, for the first time, you can go into an event, any event of your choosing, Raw, SmackDown, ECW, or a pay-per-view, and you basically become the booker of the show. You choose how the show opens, how the show closes, what matches will go on, what interviews will go on, and create stories within those scenarios. So for everyone like me who never paid attention in class and drew up little wrestling scenarios in their notebook over the years, this is for us. And finally, I think they got a formula that over the years will only improve, and I hope they really stick to it and make it better. The coolest part about Storyline Editor, I think, is the fact that you can upload it and have it be shared by the entire SmackDown community. What this pretty much is like an endless DLC for free. So you have all this content you could download and you could play through, and it gives the game big time replay value. And on the same note, the Create a Superstar is the same way. You have Wrestler Share, which finally you could share your wrestlers online and have them in your game, so your roster can go from something that you might not find too impressive to something that seems never ending. And the cool part is that you don't have to go to the internet anymore and look at all these formulas to make the perfect wrestler. Now it's just a simple download, and this is long overdue, but you know, better late than never. The presentation of the game is probably the best it's ever been in the SmackDown series, and obviously that has a lot to do with the innovations over the years. But I think finally THQ and Ukes are really attempting to make the game feel like the television show, any show, Raw, SmackDown, ECW, like I said. You'll have the WWE Live logo in the corner, you'll have the end credits with the copyright, you'll have the WWE logo flashing just like on television, and that's what makes it really cool. It really truly feels authentic, it really truly feels natural, it feels like you are watching WWE programming.
And this one should blow the roof off the house.
The gameplay's gone pretty much unchanged. There's a few things, the reversal system for example. Before you had to use both shoulder buttons to reverse either a grapple or a strike. Now you have one button, the right shoulder button. All you need to do is press it at the right time and you will have a reversal. What's cool is that it's a little difficult too, so you can't have like a reversal fest. You have to time it because you have a small window of opportunity to pull the reversal off. I have to also mention the new fluidity between matches. Before, when you were trying to do chain grapples, you do a strong grapple, then you move on. It was a little choppy. Now, I think from move to move, the transition is really seamless, really fluid. It gives the game a good overall flow, but again, the problem I have with this game is the flow of the wrestling. You really do a lot of similar moves, very repetitive moves, and it kind of kills the experience. Sometimes you just want to get through the match very nicely, like an actual wrestling match, with escalation, with progress. You know, you don't want to do one of your best moves in the first 2 minutes. That's not how wrestling works. What I rather see is a progressive system that doesn't allow you to do all your moves immediately. Obviously, there's your signature and your finisher, which you can't pull off right away. But there's still moves that wrestlers choose to use during the end of a match to set up a finisher to get to that point. And it kind of breaks the experience for me where you could pull that off in the first 30 seconds. If you're having, let's say, a long match with your friend and it's going like over 10-15 minutes, it's just going to get frustrating because you're going to see the same moves and the same animations over a dozen times, and that's just not how a real wrestling program works. I realize how difficult it is to take a performance-based sport and try to make it into a competitive sport, but they really have to figure this out, in my opinion, to really give these games staying power.
Look out! What a landing!
Career mode is back in Smackdown vs. Raw 2010, no surprise there. And again, the career mode for me, personally, I enjoy the single player in these wrestling games. The career mode is make or break for me, and I felt like as good as it was, it had a lot of improvements. There's still something missing because you want to go through the whole thing. You want to be the world champion. You want to feel like you progress through the game. And after a while, I mean, I was playing as Triple H, and I steamrolled everyone for 3 belts within the first 2 hours I was playing. Again, I could raise the difficulty, and the game does get more difficult, but when it's that easy, and when the moves are so repetitive and everything feels the same, you just eventually want to put it down and do something else. It really looks like the Smackdown series is finally trying to go in a different direction and trying to perfect the wrestling business as much as they can. What I'd like to see, and I know how difficult this is going to be, but I wouldn't mind seeing a mode down the line where you pick a wrestler and you actually live like a wrestler. You actually go through matches not trying to beat your opponent up and not trying to win, but rather playing with your opponent to have a 5-star match. And why not have it so you progress through the game that way, by being a good performer, by having fans, by selling merchandise, the real life of a wrestler, instead of having it be a competition, which wrestling is not. If you're a smart fan, you know that the outcome's predetermined. You know that these people are characters, they're not actual guys. Why not have a mode that embraces that instead of trying to hide it? Overall, I gotta say I have mixed emotions about Smackdown vs. Raw 2010. I think it's still one of the best wrestling games that's come out in a long time, but that doesn't go to show how amazing this game is. It goes to show how many problems the previous ones had. And storyline designer is by far a very good step in the right direction. It's what they need to be doing. It's the direction they need to be thinking. But story design on its own is just simply not enough to save this game. It's going to be exciting to go online all the time and see the new stories people are creating, the new events, to see what someone's idea of the perfect WrestleMania card is, and comparing it to yours. That's something that everyone's been waiting for, and I can't wait to see what they do over the years. I can't wait to see what they do with it in Smackdown vs. Raw 2011, 12, 13, and so on, if the series lasts that long. So this is Cage from Gaming Ahead. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this review of Smackdown vs. Raw 2010.
They tell me